What is up, everybody? Today is the day. We get big old patch here. Patch 1.001.1.00. Tuesday, September 17th. It's the balance patch, everybody. It's finally here. We're going to go through it. There's a lot to go through. I skimmed it already, did a couple of games. From what I can tell, a lot of the changes kind of build off on each other. So while you won't see the greatest numbers in damage buffs, the reduction in durability across the board, the reduction in armor classes, everything stacks together to make that, man, when you're out there, it's good. Doing drops, facing off against enemies, feels a lot better. A lot better. So, quick look at the overview. You got the major overhaul of anti-tank armor penetration, health, and armor values. This is a generic buff to pretty much everything. Anything that has to go through armor, armor penetration, will be significantly better. Weapon stratagems balancing, weapon and stratagem balancing, that's okay. I did test out the 500 kg. It seems to be better, but at the same time, like, I didn't miss. So it's going to take a little bit more testing to see how large the 500 kg's radius truly is, but it feels nice. Enemy reworks, that's talking about the rockets, but let's just dive into it. So here is an actual massive buff, which they kind of just skimmed over and pretend like it didn't mean anything. Previously, partial damage dealt 50% of full damage, only 50%, which we found to be overly punishing and reduce effectiveness too much, leading to excessive reliance on high armor penetration weapons. Yes, so the meta, especially on the bot side, had been if you don't have armor pen, it's just in general, like any light penetrating weapon, you couldn't bring it to the bot side. You were done. So even if you're getting damage and you weren't like strictly bouncing, you did so little damage that it was like, why even bring it? So the bots really had a high ceiling because of that, especially if you're just starting off in this game. I think the Liberator Penetrator is like the first one you get, and that one only did like 40 damage. So yeah, no, bots were super punishing early game. On the bug side, yeah, like it's really your larger things like your chargers, but those Biospears also had medium pins, so like there is definitely a hard ceiling where like you couldn't bring your stalwart, you couldn't bring like any of the Liberators. Everything was just heavy pen. So I'm really glad to see that change. Now it is up to 65%, which doesn't seem like too much, but when you take care of all the other buffs, that extra 50% really adds. Ooh, now this is a good one. Helldivers now take less damage from headshots. So previously, the way the headshots work, at least the way that I find them to work, is that if the enemy rolls that they get a headshot on you, they will one-tap you from any distance regardless. Usually it happens with the Strider enemy types, Rocket Striders and the Scout Striders. Those guys will just dome off your head and 3-shot burst, and there's nothing you can do. So they actually decreased that from 100% to 50%, which is massive. That helps a lot. But they also increased the damage of other parts. Look at that. Slightly increased damage depending on areas hit. So you will be taking more damage just in general, but you won't be getting one shot. I'll take it. I'll take that for sure. Going into the primary weapons, we finally see some Liberator love. Look at that. Carbine and the Liberator. Damage increase. We got durable damage increase, which will help up here as well, for sure. Stagger force increase. That's nice. Though, man, you're not really using the Liberator to push things back, but it's good to see. Spare mags. Look at that. They're actually giving us magazines instead of taking them away. That is interesting. Look at that. And starting mags. Granted, if you're running the Hellpod optimization, that doesn't really help you. But just in case you don't bring it, or maybe you don't even have it yet, you now have more ammo to start with. So that first bug breach is a lot easier to get through. The Night SMG. What? No way. I didn't even think they would remember this weapon. So the Night SMG is, I think you get that from, I forgot how you get that. I don't have it. That's all I know. But yeah, the damage increase, 50%. Look at that. Magazines are now fully refilled when picking up resupply. So I'm assuming that's generic resupplies because, you know, the call-in resupplies are a lot, but maybe they weren't being refilled. Who knows? But yeah, look at that. And reduce recoil. So, anyone who have the Night SMG, the lucky few, congratulations, you got a buff. Liberator Concussive. I completely forgot about you. You have 60 rounds? No shot. Okay. All right. I might have to pick that up. I might have to use the Liberator Concussive. 60 whole rounds? That's 15 rounds off from the heavy machine gun. You can just sit on that trigger with the Liberator Concussive now. That's incredible. Number of mags reduced. Who cares? You get 60 rounds. Are you kidding me? That's, oh my goodness. That is a lot of ammo. Liberator Concussive. Might be a build now. For sure. Like a crowd control build. Because that is a lot of utility right there. Tenderizer rounds in the magazine increased from 30 to 35. Remember when they used to complain that we couldn't increase the number of rounds because they would have to change the model? Yeah, look at that. Thank you. I love the tenderizer. It's fun, but it cooked too quick. It cooked way too quick. You couldn't get through the whole encounter. So that's nice. Breaker, look at that. Now comes with extended magazine which holds 16 shells. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Thank you, Breaker, for coming back. Oh, stagger force also increased 10 to 15. Okay, that's that. So it has the same stagger force as the Liberators up there. Okay. Spray and pray. Now, this is something I didn't think they would have. Duckbill muzzle, making the spread very horizontal. So this could actually be a bug contender. Don't bring it to the bot side. Probably not the best thing. But bug side, everything kind of spreads out. They're all on the ground. So if it's losing less vertical and being more horizontal, that's actually going to be really cool. Oop, and I didn't see this. Total damage increase 192 to 240. Lovely. That is good. So now this might be King Horde cleared. Probably not King. The breaker, incendiary breaker is still really good. But this will probably be this will be a good contender. The scythe, the weapon I've never used. Cooldown is faster, adjusted to the heat VFX. Don't know what that means. Maybe it just looks better. Oh, scope change to low powered scope. That'll be nice. Removed recoil. So now it's actually laser accurate. Sets enemies on fire faster. Okay, so the scythe might be pretty good. Because fire damage has always been good. Well, hasn't always been good. But fire has been reworked. And now the scythe can be your long range laser fire pointer. Look at that. Crossbow. Look at this. They made it one-handed. They made it medium pin. And now we get another buff. Explosion radius increased by 50%. Explosion damage increased from 150 to 350. Now I actually checked in-game on the damage of the card. The crossbow does like 640 damage or something ridiculous now. So this doesn't count of the explosion damage increase. It has more damage on its card now than the Eruptor. This crossbow is going to be ridiculous. I'll end up testing it out because I've been loving the crossbow. But yeah, no, this thing for pinpoint damage and having the explosion on it now, yeah, this is going to be sick. Eruptor, my beloved. Oh my god. My beloved is back. This is what we've been asking for so long. Shrapnel is back. Thank God. I like the previous iteration of the Eruptor that they came out with the increased explosion radius and everything. That was fun, but it wasn't the shrapnel. Now they've given it frag grenade shrapnel, so instantly one-shot Helldivers, and it still does a good amount of damage. Shrapnel damage set to 110. That is a solid amount of damage. Seeing how the shrapnel projectile amount has hit the 30, that's 3,300 damage potentially from a shot. Now you're not going to get all that, but say you shoot underneath a charger, you're going to get a lot of that for sure. So this is phenomenal. So they basically took it down from doing over 9,000 damage to potentially doing around 3,000 damage. So you know what? We'll take it. Explosion damage decreased from 340 to 225. So this is what I was talking about. So on the damage of the actual card, you'll see a lower number than the crossbow. I think it's like 425 or something. I didn't pay too much attention. But who cares? Who cares? You're getting all this shrapnel damage. I did a little quick playing. Heavy devs, not an issue. Rocket devs, not an issue. Bugs, not an issue. This damage, don't even pay attention to it, because you're getting your shrapnel back. And this shrapnel damage is ridiculous. And they increased the amount of shrapnel, explosion radius increased by 33%. This is also really good. So if you see a crowd of people, I wouldn't call them people. If you see a crowd of enemies and you shoot an Eruptor in it, it may not one-shot everything, but it's definitely going to damage everything. This is phenomenal. The Eruptor is back for sure. Defender, you get a little 5 increase. Durable damage up by 1. And Defender is a low tier weapon anyway, so that's okay. Liberator Penetrator, look at the love. 45 to 60. This is like your one of the first medium pin weapons you get. This is going to make the early game just a little bit easier. So while you're still leveling up and everything, look at that. You get a little buff. Diligence and damage increase 125 to 165. That's massive. Durable damage 32 to 42. So that's pretty massive. Diligence sniper has always been lagging behind the counter sniper, so I'm glad to see it get some love. Speaking of the counter sniper, look at that damage increase from 140 to 200. It already hit the Devastator breakpoint really consistently. Now it's just going to do that from a farther range. Durable damage increased from 14 to 50. That is good. This was already a nice bot weapon. This is going to make it even better. So when you miss your shots against the Devastator, you're not doing no damage. You're actually doing some good damage here. Stagger Force 15 to 20. Stagger Force is interesting because heavy Devastators, you really don't want to stagger them. The more you stagger them, the more they use their shield to block your headshots. So we're going to see how that plays out, but with everything else, I think it'll be okay. The Blitzer, one of the best bug weapons in the game, now has a weak stun effect. Look at that. So now your larger targets, things that don't go down in one shot, you can now stun those heavier units. Now, I don't know if this will work against chargers and the like, but your Hive Commanders, your Bile Spewers, those should all be getting stunned now. Oh, look at this. The Torture. I didn't even think we would touch this. Well, look at that. Damage increased by 50%. The Torture, when I first used it, it was okay. The fact that it couldn't push anything back, meant that enemies were just kind of walking through my fire and then taking me out. But now the damage is increased by 50%, so hopefully they're dead before they get to me. Flame mechanics have been reverted before the Escalation of Freedom update. Thank you. I will take that all day. This is the same for every single flame weapon. And AP has increased from 3 to 4. So flame in general now has an AP of 4. So that's your crisper, that's your flamethrower stratagem, that's your torture. If they give us anything else, it's probably going to have AP 4. Like flame, any flame projectile will go through armor now, which is great. Moving over to the sidearms, increase max spare mags from 5 to 6. Thank you, Peacemaker. I'll always remember you. The dagger, look at this. Laser builds are eating. First the scythe, now the dagger. Gains heat more slowly, removed recoil. Lovely. Damage increased from 200 to 250. That's great. Sets enemies on fire faster. Adjusted VFX. Okay, that's lovely. That is cool. So now your laser beam build has gotten more arsenal. And the crisper, same as the torture, 50% damage, AP 3 to 4. Yeah, that's good. Going into the support weapons, we are talking anti-tank mostly. Other weapons have been adjusted, but this is really focusing on the anti-tank. We see here that they're going to fall into 3 different categories. Strong, reliable, recoilless rifle, and spear can afford to be less accurate in firing at armored targets, since most hits will eliminate enemies the size of a charger. So, most likely, this recoilless rifle, these are going to be your good meta. If the spear and the recoilless rifle can one-shot chargers of pretty much any size, that's going to be lovely. I do want to see how it breaks up on Titans to see if the spear will still outperform the recoilless rifle, because the way they put them in, I don't know, like we don't get to see any damage on this. So I'm hoping the spear is just significantly stronger because the recoilless rifle has more ammo, but we'll have to see. Here it is. Strong, expendable anti-tank, quasar, any of those tier weapons will be able to single hit to a weak spot. Otherwise, 2 solid shots will handle a charger. So, and 1 shot for a Hulk. So Hulks are getting 1 shot like pretty much regardless, as long as they're using something of the expendable anti-tank quality, which that's lovely. That's actually pretty awesome, because if this is one-shotting them, this is for sure one-shotting them. Less strong, the Commando, Patriot, X rockets typically require 1 to 3 shots to take down a charger or a Hulk, depending on your aim. So you can still take down things in 1 shot, but for the most part, the Commando is going to take 3 shots, which is kind of a nerf to the Commando. I'm going to be real. Granted, the Commando wasn't always your best pick for anti-tank. It was more like your side upgrade from your expendable anti-tank, and was really good on bot sides for taking out factories. But we'll have to see. The Patriot X2 rockets being in this tier kind of makes me a little sad. I would love to see those rockets get the love they need and be pushed up to the strong, reliable tier, just because of how few of those rockets you get, how long the stratagem takes. We'll have to see. I would like to see the exosuit actually get a more buff. Grenade launcher. Here's one that I completely forgot about, because the weapon really dropped off in the late game. Starting spare magazines increased from 1 to 2. Max spare magazines increased from 2 to 3. Explosion radius slightly increased. They don't give us percentage here, so that's actually nice. The grenade launcher has always been very ammo hungry. If you were running it, most likely you had to bring a supply backpack, because you only had 10 shots, 20 grenades in total. Yeah, so it needed some love for sure, especially when the auto cannon exists. Laser cannon. Laser boys are eating good still.
Cooldown is slightly faster. Remove recoil, which is great. Sets enemy on fire faster. Can now damage heavy enemies like Charger, Biotitans, Impalers, and Hulks.
You can now bring the laser cannon everywhere. It was already a nice weapon. It was already your massive flashlight. Now it's even better. Granted, I don't play with this.
I prefer using ballistics, but this is phenomenal. Arc Thrower, you get your range back. Now has a moderate stun effect. Durable damage increased from 50 to 100. That's phenomenal. Jumps additional times. So now you can kill more larger groups with one shot. Look at that. The railgun is back, lads. The railgun is back. Look at that. Durable damage increased from 60 to 225. Oh my. I cannot tell you how often I would shoot a railgun into something, say a tanker or anything, and be like, oh, great. I can penetrate it, but it's going to take my entire reserve mag, all 20 shots to kill this one cannon turret. That will no longer be the case. That is phenomenal. Fully overcharging damage increased from 150% to 250%. This bits the railgun from its already pretty solid spot on the bug side to one of the S tier weapons again. This is phenomenal. Now we will have to do some new testing, because it could already 5-shot a Bile Titan head, and that's probably like a 2-shot now with all the buffs. We'll have to do some damage testing with the railgun. Is it back to its former glitch glory? We don't know. I'm not too sure yet, but just having that is phenomenal. Stalwart, my beloved. Damage increased from 60 to 70. It did 60 damage? Oh. I thought it did more. Durable damage increased from 14 to 17. Stagger force increased. The Stalwart was always in a great spot. That is probably one of your best weapons early game, for sure. Well, for light pin, of course. Machine gun, stagger force increase. Okay, that's good. Anti-material rifle. I haven't picked that up in so long. Durable damage increased from 135 to 180. Excellent. That needed that. Now it can compete with the likes of the autocannon for sure. Can now damage heavier enemies like Chargers and Biotitans. Stagger force increased from 20 to 25. Anti-material rifle has always been a weird spot because it's like, why would I pick this when the diligence counter sniper really does the same thing? The Ruptor does more than the anti-material rifle. So seeing its durable damage increase, it's going to be lovely. Heavy machine gun, stagger force. Nothing damage changed here. Just stagger force and can now damage heavier enemies, which is lies. The commando, demolition strength against structures has been reduced. It can no longer destroy automaton fabricators in a single shot. However, since fabricators now have health, it can still take them out with 2 shots. Okay. So automaton fabricators will now have health. That's actually interesting. I will miss being able to clear out a whole heavy base with just one commando, but hey, it has a 2-minute cooldown. This isn't the end of the world. Flamethrower, damage increased 33%. Thank you. Flame mechanics reverted before the Escalation of Freedom update. Thank you. AP, yep. And then can now damage heavier enemies. Our flamethrower is back. Our flame is back. We can now use this to kill literally anything that we want. There's nothing stopping us from burning us and our frames. That flame armor will now be useful because now we can bring the flamethrower. Autocannon. I love how they don't have any damage adjustments on the autocannon. Thank God. It can now just damage heavier enemies like Charge and the Biotitans. Phenomenal. This has been the best weapon since game launch. And it has remained, and now it's even better. So if you see something that you want to kill, you can just point at it with an autocannon. You have that massive backpack magazine to run through. That's phenomenal. Grenades. Now, this is something I did not think we were getting. Shrapnel damage increased by roughly 50%. I'm assuming that's because of the eruptor change. They had to look at the shrapnel, realize, oh, this does nothing. So they increased that. That's awesome. Max amount increased from 4 to 5. So now you bring more grenades. That's actually really cool. Now the frag grenades is 1 less than you'd bring with, oh, I guess it would be 2 less than what you'd bring with a grenade pistol. That's actually nice. Refill increase from 2 to 3. Explosion radius increase. So great. Hooray, frag grenade. Yay. Thermite grenade. Oh my goodness, no way. I did not think we would get this. Look at that. Explosion damage increased from 100 to 2,000. Previously, if you throw a thermite grenade on something, it would do some burn damage as well as a little explosion damage. But the explosion damage was nothing. You couldn't kill anything with a thermite, even if it was on low health, because it had to go through all this durable damage. Yeah, no. This is phenomenal. I've always loved the style of a thermite grenade. I always wanted it to be good. And they jumped the damage from 100 to 2,000. Shorter time until it ignites the thermite. Okay. Time until it explodes slightly reduced. Alright, even better. Max number decreased from 4 to 3. Don't care. I'm gonna be 100 with you. A specialty grenade like this, doing 2,000 damage. If I have 1 less, I don't care. Everything's already dead. The thing I wanted to kill with a thermite grenade is probably already dead. Because you can throw all 3 of those suckers, do 6,000 damage. I don't think anything survives 6,000 damage. I'm going to be honest with you. So this thermite grenade, I'll probably put down my sons for a bit. I'll run thermite grenade. That's phenomenal. Now the stratagems. This is something I don't really care about. Stratagems are already in a great place to begin with. But let's just go through these changes. Eagle 500 kg. Explosion radius increase to match visuals better. We'll have to test that to see how large it is. But that should be really good. Eagle rockets. Damage slightly increased. I wonder if that's going to hit some new breakpoints. Because previously, these things will hit something, but it's mostly to weaken it or crack armor. It really didn't kill anything, so... Well, I say Chargers, Titans, Hulks, and the like. It really didn't kill things, so we're going to see if that helps. Gatling Sentry Turret. Stagger Force increased from 15 to 20. A machine gun Sentry Turret, same thing. This is probably just to go along with the new Stagger Force that the machine guns have. Tesla Tower, just like the arc weapons. Increased stagger force to match the arc weapons, that's good. As a moderate stun effect that builds up per hit on its target. Now, I never really noticed the Tesla Tower like not one-shotting things, so we're gonna see how that helps. Maybe for the larger things like chargers and stuff, you can put a couple of these down in the choke point and keep everything at a moderate distance. That would be interesting to see. Heavy machine gun emplacement, stagger force increase, of course, can now damage heavy enemies. Man, I've always wanted this. This is sit down in a gun emplacement and just lay into knowing I'm still doing damage regardless of what I'm shooting at. That's going to be phenomenal. Patriot exosuit, Gatling stagger force increase from 15 to 20. We need more on the Patriot exosuit, I will say. This is not enough. The rockets need reworking. The whole suit needs more ammo. This is a start, but definitely not what we were looking for. However, the Emancipator is good for sure. Durable damage increased from 60 to 150. That's over twice the durable damage. And it's gonna be twice as less shots. I think that's all. I don't know how to math. Increased fire rate from 125 to 175. It already shot really quick. Now it shoots even faster. Ammo increased from 75 to 100 per arm. So why bring the Patriot exosuit when you have this? This is phenomenal now. It was already a great exosuit for clearing bug holes. And just pestering larger things. Now it's going to be even better. You have more ammo and you have more damage. That's incredible. Orbital laser, damage slightly increased. We don't know by how much, but orbital laser was always really good, and the fact that you can only call three of them, I could like to see above. Orbital rail cannon, damage slightly increased. Now, I do wonder if this is going to one-shot Titans, because I already pretty much one-shot everything in the bot side, except for the Factory Strider, of course. But I do want to see if it's going to one-shot Bile Titans, because, to be honest, if it doesn't one-shot a Bile Titan, or you bring it like really, really low, where you can like one-tap it with anything else, it's not going to help the Orbital Rail Cannon. It has a super long cooldown. It only takes out one target. So, this may or may not change anything about the rail cannon. Orbital gas strike. So, with the chemical agent war bonds, they will be reworking gas gameplay mechanics to be more focused on crowd control and preparation for chemical agents. The gas effect has been reworked to call it blindness and confused enemies and Helldivers alike at the expense of reduced damage over time. Okay, so let me get this straight. So you throw this guy down at a bug breach. All the bugs get confused and blind, so they don't know where you're at. And they sit in that cloud for a longer period of time. Okay, so the damage reduction, who cares? If they're confused and blind, it's like a better smoke. It's a smoke that just does damage. That's phenomenal. Especially since we're getting like all these different forms that cause gas damage. That's gonna be incredible. This might overtake the auto Gatling barrage for a King Horde clear on the bug side. I'm gonna have to test that out. That's really cool. So there's a whole host of other changes. The full list is down. Really what you need to know. Talent Fabricators will have health. Hulks will have their armor reduced from 5 to 4. Now they can be damaged with pretty much everything, which is incredible. Look at this, the Berserker. The Berserker. What do you mean main health reduced from 1,000 to 750? Nah, these guys had way too much health. I'm so glad that this changed. Their chainsaw damage has been increased though. Rocket Devastators, we already knew this was coming. They all fired limited rockets as well as the gunships. Check this out. Tank damage. Front armor increased from 5 to 6. That is interesting. So, now I don't know if there's anything that really hits the AP5 breakpoint. So, I don't know if changing the armor is actually going to do anything. Maybe something will. Maybe some of the anti-tanks only do 5, and now you have to bring something even heavier for a tank. We're going to have to test that out. The Hulk Bruiser no longer has a rocket launcher. Now has 2 energy... Wait, for an energy-based cannon. That's not the... I do wonder if that's going to be a heavy cannon. We're going to have to see. Increase how frequently the Hulk Bruiser shoots. These guys might be a little bit more dangerous. It's going to be real. Skipping down to the Chargers. All versions reduce armor from 5 to 4, which is great. But weak point health decreased from 1100 to 950. Okay. Yeah, I can take that. But weak point spot is like slightly less durable. Okay. Belly armor reduced from 4 to 2. Everything explosive. If you can shoot it underneath the charger, you will do some massive damage. And we're looking directly at the Eruptor for this. I played an earlier match. If you take a couple of shots, say 4 to 3 shots underneath the charger, the shrapnel from the Eruptor will end up doing massive damage to it and killing it. That's phenomenal. Damage multiplier has been added to charges explode flesh of the main body, now doing 300% damage. Phenomenal. This is great. So now if you strip a charger's leg, it'll take even less to take it down for sure. Now it turns slightly slower when charging and moving normally. That's nice because those things could turn on a dime. Now charge less often. I don't think we need that. I like seeing them charge a lot. Charger damage increased by 50%. Side attack damage increased by 50%. Okay. So here's the enemy buff. So a lot of these are going to be, while the enemy does get nerfed, they'll do more damage for sure. Here's another one of those instances. Charger Behemoth, similar thing. But weak points the same as all the regular chargers. That's good. Hunter, really don't like y'all. 175 to 160. Now a lot more weapons will hit that breakpoint. Scavenger, 80 to 60. Same thing. Bile Titans. You can now kill a Bile Titan from its belly with light pin weapons. Look at that. That's actually really cool. Granted, they probably still have a massive health pool. Do separate belly health pool once the outer belly layer has been destroyed. Destroy the exposed belly health pool, kills the Bile Titan. So, you can now bring anything to the bug front. You no longer have to rely on heavy weapons to kill your Bile Titans. I do hope they increase the spawns of these heavier units to compensate, because I would love to just be killing Bile Titans left and right, like 3 of them spawn from a bug hole. That would be incredible. Impaler, reduce armor from 5 to 4. I do not know if there is an enemy that has armor 5 now, because it seems the tank got increased to 6, and everything else has been brought down to 4. So, armor pin 5. We'll miss you, but honestly, you won't be missed that much. Previously, the could only attract its tentacles once during its lifetime when threatened. Now it can do it several times. Okay, that's interesting. Tentacles pursue you over a shorter distance from the impaler, prioritize player near the impaler. Okay, great, because those tentacles would follow you like 150 meters. Something ridiculous. If the impaler can't see an enemy, it will attract its tentacles after a brief period. That is actually kind of funny, because I would run up to an impaler after everybody's died. We've all come back to this area, and there's an impaler still with its head dug into the ground. So that's interesting. Tentacle damage is increased. You're going to die more. Reduce camera shake for the tentacle attack. Thank you. Tentacles require less damage to inflict on them to retract. I didn't even think that was possible. I actually just ignored them because I run Octoblitzer. Here, in the last thing we'll cover, you can read the general fixes on your own. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. So y'all can look at that on your own. But this is something that I did want to cover. Probably one of the coolest things. The intense heat, extreme cold modifiers are no longer static throughout the entire mission and may now change based on the time of day and different weather conditions. Thank goodness. So, while the extreme cold is a really good one to have for your laser weapons, they have already reduced the heat buildup on those anyway, so that's not going to be really an issue. But the intense heat, this was bad. You couldn't wear heavy armor in desert planets. Your stamina would get eaten too quickly. Your weapons would overheat too quickly. So this is actually really cool. And desert planets will now have the intensity modifier active during the day, which means that during the night, the planet will either have no modifier or in some cases extreme cold. Incredible. Arid planets similar to Hellmire, oh my goodness, will not only have the intense heat modifier active during fire tornado storms. I didn't know I needed that so much, but that is phenomenal. The rest of these are just general fixes, so we'll skim through some of these. Oh, here's the one that I've been yapping about. Fix an issue where enemies would spawn on top of extraction. So if you see my last couple of vids, you know I defend the pad with my life, and this is the exact reason why. They fixed the that would end your game super quick if a tank or something larger spawned on extraction pad turn to the generators and just one tap them. So that's great. Enemies can no longer shoot generators from spawn points or from far away, which is great. Fixed enemy pathing, where they would sometimes try to enter the base from the mountain on the side. Added more protection for the generators to prevent enemies shooting them from far away. So this is all bot related. All this stuff made the high value assets missions nearly impossible on higher bot difficulties. Now you're going to actually go through them. Now this is a massive list of changes, and this is already a long video. If y'all want to look at these changes, go right ahead. A lot of things have been changed. A lot of bugs have been fixed here. The failed to extract bug, fixed bug which sometimes does not have data being shown in the loadout. A lot of things have been fixed. So this isn't just balancing. This is also crash fixes, the Titan head fix. No, this is phenomenal. Now we still have a solid list of known issues. Honestly, they can get to this when they get to it. Everything else I've seen has been phenomenal. Skipping back over to the primary weapons, I did not see anything about the Purifier or the Incendiary Breaker. So your Incendiary Breaker mains, I'm sorry guys, you're gonna have to find a different weapon. It's not that bad. With the other changes compounding, the Incendiary Breaker is probably gonna be a good spot. Just bring a supply backpack. It's already the best backpack in the game. You'll be okay. Purifier, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know. I thought they were going to increase the Purifier at least a little bit, do a little buff on it, but from what I can see, absolutely nothing. Overall, lads, this is a phenomenal patch. Will it bring the game back to its former glory? Honestly, probably better. The fact that you can attack enemies and just lay down fire like that on your chargers, your titans, pretty much everything. This is gonna be a whole different game. We're gonna have to do a lot of damage testing to figure new breakpoints out. We have a lot of things to play with on the bugs and the bot side. Really a phenomenal change. Now, I am curious to see how squishy we're going to be, seeing if we get one shot by other things now, or maybe our arms get broken more. We're going to have to see. But overall, this has been a phenomenal change. Thanks for sitting and listening to me ramble about these balance patch. Of course, the list, if you want to go through everything, list is available on Steam, probably online for y'all PlayStation players. With that all being said, I will see y'all later.